organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, School Fight. We look at where the candidates stand on education. See who you side with more.
Plus, Future Sight. See how the UI College of Business is looking to the crystal ball of American politics.
And in sports, our whip around is back. Need an up-to-date coverage of everything black and gold? We have you covered.
That's coming your way next.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for tuning in to your Monday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Nicole Meehan.
And I'm Rebecca Hager. With the third and final debate on Monday and official election day only a few weeks away, the Daily Iowan has looked at both candidates' stances on important issues.
And for our second installment of our election series coverage, we take a look at what each candidate stands for when it comes to education. Daily Iowan reporter Reed Chandler is here to show us how they line up.
Thanks, guys. And at the surface level, both President Barack Obama and Governor Mitt Romney have a lot in common when it comes to education. They both went to Harvard, President Obama earning 1 degree from the institution and Governor Romney earning 2. And what they have in common at the surface reflects their stances at the policy level as well. While they disagree on many public school issues, when it comes to higher education, I found one has to look closely to see how they differ. Barack Obama and Mitt Romney seem to agree on a lot of higher education issues, especially Pell Grants, where needy students receive a maximum of $5,550 toward their college education. Obama actually freed up $36 billion to be used for more Pell Grant funding when he stopped giving a government subsidy to banks and private lenders giving out student loans. This put much of student loan power in the hands of the federal government and saved costs. But Mitt Romney says the private sector is better equipped to give out loans to students, and by putting the power back in private lenders, the economy will grow. Where they differ is that Obama has expanded Pell Grant funding so more students can receive grants. However, Romney believes only those in need should receive a grant, and that extra funding can be used in other places. And while both candidates seem to support Pell Grants, students at Iowa benefiting from the program said their vote was with Obama.
He wants to expand the number of students who get Pell Grants, and I, for one, am under the Pell Grant.
And that could possibly help more students and other students of different minorities or different places.
Mike Warner works in the UI Financial Aid Office, and he says the Pell Grant program is a huge part of the Iowa student body.
If the Pell Grant program did not exist, we could have close to 20% of our undergraduate students not be here at the University of Iowa.
So amidst all the similarities, a few key differences could decide your vote. Reed Chandler, Daily Iowan TV. It's also important to note Romney would get rid of a college tax credit Obama gave to families sending their children to college. But he'd push for a program he established while governor of Massachusetts, which gave the top 25% of all students in a high school a 4-year tuition-free education in that state's public universities. That's all I have. Back to you.
Still to come on Daily Iowan TV.
Find out how the city is planning on dressing up these downtown trees.
And in sports, what happened to the Hawkeye defense Saturday night? We have the answer.
But first, let's take a look at your week's weather forecast with Anna Theodosis.
Thanks, Rebecca. Well, guys, today wasn't too pretty, and it's not going to get any better. Monday brought us rain and clouds, and that rain will be sticking around. Tuesday morning will bring a 20% chance of rain with temps in the mid-60s, so you might want to think about bringing an umbrella with you on your way to class. The rain will stick around through the afternoon as temperatures will reach the high 70s. Temps will then drop back down to 66 degrees Tuesday night. Taking a look at the rest of the week, the rain will continue through Friday morning with temps reaching 81 degrees on Wednesday and 64 on Thursday. The weekend will be dry, but the warmer temps will be long gone with a cooler 48 degrees Friday and Saturday. Sunday will greet us with a chilly 43 degrees. That's all for your weather update. Back to you at the desk.
A program started back in 2010 has drawn the attention of a university professor. The Honoring Your Wishes program is put on by the University of Iowa Hospital. It's supposed to give people a chance to organize their wills and medical requests after accidents. A University of Iowa professor in the College of Social Work is using the program for her death and dying class. Students in the class will be using the program to learn about the process of dying in our society. The program is open to everyone over the age of 18. Officials said it is important to start figuring out your last wishes earlier in life.
Fall is a great time to get out the sweaters for the cold weather, but this year more than just people will be wearing the warm fuzzy outerwear. The Iowa City Downtown District has been planning a yarn bombing project that will clothe over 100 downtown trees in homemade knit sweaters. Today, I set out to find out what local businesses and community members think about the project. Downtown Iowa City. Colorful artwork, creative artists, and spoiled trees. These bare trees shivering in the dreary cold will be warmed up come November 4th when they will receive their winter sweaters. The Iowa City Downtown District is calling for knitters to participate in yarn bombing. The Home Ec Workshop of Iowa City has been home to the project, distributing boxes of yarn and assigning trees to their knitters. But yarn for over 100 trees doesn't come free.
The $2,000 being used to make sweaters for trees like this one is being funded in part by property taxes of downtown business owners. I called around today to about a dozen business owners to find out what they think about funding the project, but none of them wanted to respond on camera. So I asked a few community members what they think. Would you spend $2,000 on sweaters for these trees?
On sweaters, no.
No.
Why not?
It just seems kind of pricey for what their purpose is.
I don't know what wrapping sweaters around trees is going to do.
Despite the opposing viewpoints, Alyssa Weinstein, co-owner of Home Ec Workshop, thinks it will have a positive outcome.
It's just going to be like this magical moment, I think, for a lot of people to, come Monday morning, November 5th.
The downtown district will certainly see a magical flash of color, but as for seeing more downtown goers, we'll have to wait till winter is over to find out. Rebecca Hager, Daily Iowan TV. The Treehuggers project is also funded in part by the local sponsor, Total Tree Care of Iowa City.
Now it's time to take a look at what's going on outside of Iowa City. Lance Armstrong has been officially stripped of all his Tour de France titles. Armstrong was recently accused of taking performance-enhancing drugs throughout his career, a career that led him to 7 Tour de France victories. The Tour de France director released a statement saying he no longer considers Armstrong a 7-time champion.
An Ohio teen who is considered to be one of the biggest drug dealers in the Cincinnati area has been sentenced to 3 years in a juvenile prison. Authorities say Tyler Pagenstecher played a major role in a drug ring that sold at least $20,000 worth of marijuana. The 18-year-old allegedly sold the drugs to his classmates at his Mason, Ohio high school. Investigators believe that Pagenstecher began dealing when he was just 15 years old.
The oldest known survivor of Auschwitz concentration camp has died. Antoni Dabrowski died Sunday in his home in Debno, Poland. He was sent to Auschwitz after he was arrested by Nazis for teaching children during World War II. After the war, Dabrowski was a school teacher for many years. He was 108 years old.
And now it's time to take a look at Hawkeye Sports with Alyssa Bergamini.
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. We have a jam-packed show for you today with our Monday evening whip around and of course our field hockey beat reporter Cody Goodwin back on set to discuss the exciting weekend for the Fieldhawks. But we start today's show with an analysis of the Black and Gold's defensive letdown against Penn State Saturday night. Daily Iowan football reporter Annie Constable has the story.
As the Hawkeyes took the field, it was expected to be a low-scoring game. With the Nittany Lions scoring defense ranking second in the Big Ten and Iowa's at third, there was strong reason to believe the final score would be low and the game would be competitive. No one was more surprised with the final outcome than head coach Kirk Ferentz.
I thought this was going to be a really tight, competitive ball game. It was my anticipation, and You know, they've got a good football team, obviously, and it's as well, at least from my vantage point, as well as they've played this year.
A game plagued with injury and a Hawkeye defense unable to stop Matt McGloin and an explosive Penn State offense were all contributing factors to the Hawkeyes' first conference loss, dropping them to 2-1 in the Big Ten and 4-3 overall. With Matt McGloin leading the Penn State offense downfield, the Hawkeye defense found themselves struggling to stop the passing game, which totaled 289 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the run game, which totaled 215 yards and 3 touchdowns. Giving up 38 points by the end of the game, they found themselves in unfamiliar territory.
They just dominated us in the field. They came out and played, harder, and we're more focused.
I give Penn State all the credit in the world. They came ready to play and played an exceptional football game, basically in all phases. We had a great crowd out there, a great environment, and we just couldn't get anything going offensively, defensively, or special teams.
Although the Penn State offense was able to dominate this Hawkeye defense, one game won't be a defining factor. A defense up until this point that has led the Hawkeye team will be expected to come out against Northwestern ready to play. Annie Constable, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
And it's Monday, which means the most in-depth coverage of everything Iowa sports is back with Whip Around. Daily Iowan TV sports reporter Iowan Simic kicks off our coverage. Iowan?
I'm here at the Hawkeye Tennis Complex where the men's and women's tennis teams returned from a busy weekend. The women wrapped up competition at the ITE Regionals on Sunday, and sophomore Morven McCulloch led the Hawkeyes, advancing as far as the round of 16 in the singles main draw. McCulloch, along with teammate Shelby Talcott, advanced to the semifinals of the doubles tournament, but the ladies fell short of making it to the final. Meanwhile, the men also competed in the ITE Regionals, and junior Jonas Dirks advanced to the round of 16, but lost 6-2, 6-3. His teammates Matt Hagan, Garrett Dunn, and Michael Swank all fell in their singles consolation matches. Now let's go over to Alicia Denys for a look at Hawkeye volleyball.
I'm at Carver Hawkeye Arena. The women's volleyball team traveled to Evanston last Sunday to take on the Wildcats. They weren't there for long, though. Northwestern swept the game, leaving them 3-7 in the Big Ten. On the bright side of things, though, Rachel Bedell is now posting in the double digits for kills in the past 6 matches. The Hawks are now sitting 2-8 in the Big Ten, and they host top-ranked Penn State Wednesday night here at Carver. Now let's throw it over to Kate Constable to hear about the busy Iowa soccer team.
Thanks, Alicia. I'm here at the UI Soccer Complex where the women's soccer team lost their 3rd and 4th consecutive game over the weekend. Their first loss coming on Thursday to the Nebraska Cornhuskers in overtime. A late goal about 30 feet out put the Cornhuskers ahead 2-1. The Hawks then traveled to Northwestern where the Wildcats won 2-0 in a late goal. The Hawks will look for their next win on Saturday. It'll be their first win since September 23rd. That's all for your Monday edition of Whip Around. I'm Kate Constable, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
While a number of Hawkeye teams struggled over the weekend, the 12th-ranked Field Hawks got back on track. And Cody, what went right for the Hawks over the weekend against Kent State and Ball State?
Tell you what, on Kent State on Friday, they were kind of in a struggle standstill. It went 1-1 at halftime. They actually trailed early in the first half, but head coach Tracy Gersbaum made a few adjustments to open up the offense. They were able to snag 2 goals in the 3-1 victory on Saturday over Kent State. And then against Ball State, they actually played against a smaller roster. Ball State only had 1 sub all game, so you can kind of see the fatigue going on later in the half. They ended up putting up 4 goals in the second half for a 6-0 victory. 2 crucial wins for the Hawkeyes this weekend.
And is the team ready for the game against Michigan this Friday?
They are ready for Michigan. They're going to have to take it one day at a time. I just talked to him today, and Coach Griesbaum said that they are going to have to take it one day at a time. No complacency from the Field Hawks as the game draws closer because they do need this crucial win on Friday before they take on Northwestern on Sunday. 2 huge Big Ten games coming up this weekend for the Field Hawks.
Okay, well, thank you again, Cody. And that's all we have here for you in the sports studio. Back to you guys at the desk.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek at tomorrow's edition of the Daily Iowan. Read about how LGBT seniors will be expanding their advocacy organization.
And read up a follow-up on the debate and more information about the candidates' platform on education.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.